Nah, all trolling aside, this is the rightful winner. Like, let's just be objective here. Everyone and their mother knew that Dembele deserved to win it. What he did at PSG last season was phenomenal. They won the treble. In the Champions League, he absolutely cooked. Liverpool held smoke. Aston Villa held smoke. Arsenal held smoke. And Inter held smoke. And he played well throughout the entire knockout rounds. This is the rightful winner. Everybody that's going to be crying because Yamal didn't get it, maybe next year. The Ballon d'Or ceremony has beaten the corrupt allegations because they were moving a bit mad over the last couple years. Rodri winning it last year was ridiculous. Messi winning it the year before that was atrocious. In 59 games, Ousmane Dembele, 51 GA, League On Player of the Year, Champions League Player of the Year. Come on now, bruv. Actually, I think they won the quad. I swear, no. PSG just didn't win the treble. They won the quad. You know how mad that is? They've literally etched their names in the history books. Barcelona paid 30 million for Dembele from Dortmund. They viewed him as a flop. There was one point in time, this guy Ousmane Dembele would yawn the wrong way and have to miss 3 months. This guy was in the fucking medical department more than he was on the pitch. He leaves, goes to PSG. I remember what Barca fans were saying on Twitter. What's that one Barca fan? The girl. She's an idiot. She's like one of those Twitter trolls. Bernice. She got the football IQ of a rock. She said, I remember this, name a bigger upgrade in the history of this sport. And it was Dembele. Next to him was Yamal. And now look at this. PSG got him for what? 40, 50 M's? An absolute steal. Goes on to win the Ballon d'Or. Who would have thought Ousmane Dembele would win a Ballon d'Or before Mbappe? If you would have said this 5 years ago, everyone would have laughed at you. Everyone would have been like, you're out of your mind. Not gonna lie, if this don't motivate Mbappe, then I don't know what will. Now, for those people saying, well, Yamal is better than Dembele. Maybe. I don't necessarily agree. I think the reason that Yamal has gotten all this hype is because he's 18 years old. If Lamine Yamal was 25 and had the season that he did last year, obviously we'd still rate him. We'd still say he's world class. But I don't think the push for the Ballon d'Or would have been this strong. The fact that Rafinha finished 5th is mad. If Dembele didn't win this award, Rafinha deserved it more than anybody else. So I don't get how they justify putting Mo Salah above him, putting Vitinha above him. That to me is a bit weird. I can't lie. But when you look at the context of what this award means for PSG, yes, Ousmane Dembele is now the second player to ever win the Ballon d'Or at that club. The first was Messi. But here's the thing. Messi did not win the Ballon d'Or because of what he did at PSG. He won the Ballon d'Or for what he did in the World Cup with Argentina. Dembele is the first true Ballon d'Or winner of PSG because he won this award because of the season that they just had. Fair play. Fair play. I do want to read off something really quickly. La Liga Player of the Year, Rafinha. Champions League Player of the Year, Dembele. Champions League Top Scorer, Rafinha. Champions League Top Assister, Rafinha. UEFA Champions League Young Player of the Year, Doué. Who won the UCL? Dembele. Who should win the Ballon d'Or? Varsatards will hear all that and say Yamal. The top 10 is definitely interesting, though. It's definitely interesting. I need to know what you guys are saying about this, because I know a lot of people might not be happy with it. But, I mean, again, Dembele, this guy literally has reached his full potential. Literally. Like, I remember when Dembele was at Dortmund, I thought this guy was the black Neymar. I thought Dembele was going to go to Barcelona and cook. I remember when Barcelona signed Dembele, I said, oh my days, we're finished. We're cooked. This guy was moving crazy. Then he goes to Barca. Can't really find his form. Can't really stay fit. Can't gel with the first team like that. Ends up going to PSG for nothing, basically. What, 40, 50 M's? And transforms himself into the best player in the world last season. Fair fucking play to Dembele. Fair play to Dembele. He absolutely cooked last season. He had to win this award. Because if Dembele did not win this, do you know what message that sends? That tells you that if you're at PSG, you will never win the Ballon d'Or. Because after the season that they had, if they didn't get a player to win it, what's the point in going to PSG then? What a 24-25 campaign he's had, brother. This is up there as one of the best that we've seen in recent times. Ballon d'Or winner, Champions League winner, Ligue 1, Super Cup, right? He won all the domestics in France. League 1 player of the year. League 1 top scorer. The guy, fucking Champions League player of the year. 21 goals in Ligue 1, 8 assists. 8 goals in the Champions League. 5 assists. In all comps, 33 games, 14 assists. Nah, that's mad. That's mad. Football has won. Lamine Yamal, hold that. I guess you gotta cancel that party now. All the dwarves in France are weeping because they just missed out on a generational party. Hold that. What PSG did last season was better than anything that Barcelona did. Your domestic trouble, yeah, that's nice, brother. That's nice. Yamal could not have won this award. He couldn't have won this award. What's the criteria to win the Ballon d'Or? Somebody tell me, what is the criteria? I'll tell you right now. I'm pulling it up right now. Oh, this is about to be a slow cooking. Don't y'all go anywhere. Let me tell you right now why Yamal didn't win this. Let me tell you. And we're going to go off of the criteria that the Ballon d'Or themselves put out there. Let me pull this up. The Ballon d'Or is awarded based on 3 main criteria. Are you hearing me, chat? 3 main criteria. Interesting. Very interesting, bro. Now, they say individual performances, decisive and impressive character. That's 1. 2, team performances and achievements. Yamal checks off those 2 boxes. He checks off both of them, but number 3 is where it gets a bit spooky. Would you guys say that Lamine Yamal has class and fair play? I'm curious. Yes or no? Does Lamine Yamal have class and fair play? And they said that it's for on the pitch and off the pitch. So tell me, does Lamine Yamal have fair play? Let's talk about it. The other week, I saw him grabbing his... You know what? Matter of fact, hold on. I could tell you, right? But I think I'd rather show you. But I still can't believe, though, before we even get into that, I actually still can't believe. Hold on. Let me pull this up. I actually cannot believe that that Rafinha finished 5th. That to me is mad. I can't lie. Hold on. I'm pulling this up right here. Does this look like class and fair play to you, chat? Tell me. Hold on. Imagine, do you guys remember how last season they absolutely cooked Vinicius for his character, for how he acts on the pitch? Remember that? Does that look like class and fair play? By the way, they also said for on and off the pitch. What was Lamine Yamal doing this summer? Man was out here with a 40-year-old OnlyFans model. Man was moving mad on the yacht. Then he had his birthday party. Yamal was out here body slamming dwarves. Man had them fighting in the corner like Joffrey from Game of Thrones. They had to investigate the use of dwarves at his party. Did we forget that? Did we forget, chat? Very interesting. Look, Lamine Yamal, you can hold that. I know that we're making jokes. Lamine Yamal, let's be honest for a second. He's a great player. He's going to win the Ballon d'Or multiple times in his career. The guy's only 18 years old. So, trust me, it's going to happen. But this year, based off of last season, Ousmane Dembele is the rightful winner. It's just that simple. The Ballon d'Or finally decided to not be controversial, to not cheat, to not give it to somebody that doesn't deserve it. The last 2 years was some bullshit. But this year, they got it right. The issue that I have, though, is Rafinha being 5th. Because I did think, well, okay, let's say hypothetically, if you don't give it to Dembele, and if you have to give it to a Barca player, I thought what Rafinha did last season, he deserved it over anybody else at Barca, right? Like, and yes, you can say, well, Yamal is the best player, which is true. He is the best player at Barcelona. But at the same time, right, even though he is the best player, Rafinha had a better season, right? Not only did Rafinha win everything that Yamal did, on top of that, right, in 64 games, man had 61 GA, La Liga player of the season, right? He cooked Real Madrid, hat-trick versus Bayern, won La Liga, won Copa del Rey, won Spanish Super Cup, UCL top goal scorer, UCL top assister. Let's be real. Rafinha had a bigger impact last season than Yamal did, especially in the Champions League. Yamal only had 5 goals. He did have more assists than that, but he didn't have more than Rafinha did. So, look, before we wrap up, here's how the top 10 looked. Nuno Mendes at 10. Donnarumma at 9. Cole Palmer at 8. I told you guys Cole Palmer would finish that high because the Club World Cup. They factored that in. They told us that the Club World Cup was a major trophy. So anybody that's crying about that, They told you it's a major trophy. Just because you don't rate it doesn't mean that it's no longer a major trophy. Who cares what you think? The organizers of the sport told us. 7th came Mbappe. 6th, Hakimi. 5th, this is mad. Mo Salah over Rafinha makes 0 sense. Mo Salah early in the season, I thought, was the favorite to win the Ballon d'Or. But once they got knocked out by PSG, I don't think he should be this high. Salah deserves to be top 10, yes. But 4th? I don't know. And then Vitinha's at 3rd, arguably, right? Best midfielder in the world. Whatever. So, and then obviously, right? Yamal comes 2nd. Ousmane Dembele comes in at 1st. This is what Barcelona paid for him for. This is what they dropped 130-something million was for him to win the Ballon d'Or. But he just did it at PSG. Oh my days. Now I ain't gonna lie, bro. Somebody light the Varsa pack. We are smoking on the finest Catalonia pack.